Okay, hi, I'm Dave. I'm in my final year of Actuary Maths in DCU here. So I've completed 3 years so far. Over the course of the 3 years, I have done 8 months placement working in the industry. I worked for a life insurance company and I actually stayed on through my final year. I'm working there 1 day a week. So, I'm here to talk a little bit about actuary maths and then the common entry into actuary and financial maths. So, it's like a backdoor entry into actuary maths, or it can also act as a 2 year course before the 2 years, the further 2 years, year three and four, being a financial maths degree instead. So, DC 127 gives you the choice of going into actuary maths for years three and four or financial maths for years three and four, whereas actuarial maths is focused on becoming an actuary. Okay, so this is one of my professors, Dr. Martin Venker. Okay, so like what I was just saying there, there's two pathways. You can start by getting, I think last year was 577 points to get into the actuarial maths side of things, whereas the common entry, the points tend to be about 50 points lower. So it's a little bit easier to get into common entry. To move into actuary maths after your first 2 years, you'd probably want to be averaging above 60%, 65%, if preferably. I had a message come into my uni buddy during the week asking about this. So the purpose of moving into the actuarial course for the final 2 years would be to hopefully gain the exemptions to become an actuary on your path to becoming an actuary. To become a fellow actuary, you have 13 exams in total to complete, six of which you can gain exemptions in DCU. And to gain exemptions in DCU, you need to score above 65% on average in your across your exemption modules. So if you aren't averaging above 60% in your years one and two in the common entry course, you probably wouldn't be recommended to switch across to the actuary maths course because you'll find it tough to gain the exemptions. The the actuary course, in my opinion, would be preferred if you want to become an actuary, if you know you're going to be able to get the exemptions. If you're not looking to gain exemptions or become an actuary, possibly the financial maths course would be more geared to you then. Okay. So what are actuarial maths and financial maths? So actuary is all about working for an insurance company. You're calculating risk, you're calculating the likelihood of in life insurance, which is what I do for work. You're calculating the, as sad as it is, the chance of someone dying and the solvency and profitability of a company. You're projecting cash flows into the future, so you're thinking 60 years in advance. You're taking into account inflation and like uh, lapse rates and debt rates. Uh, there is also general insurance that a lot of my friends do, um, and there is pensions and funds. So pretty much everything involves being really good at coding and calculating the likelihood of something happening using models we learn in college and continue to learn after college, assessing risk, and also learning some business skills too. So, what do I have written here? It's to model, to estimate, to calculate, to manage future risks and costs for insurance products. So, I'm going to be biased and talk a little bit more about life because that's the industry I'm in. Um, but okay, what do you need to be good at is a further slide, but yeah, you need to be good at like exceptionally good at maths. I would recommend scoring a H2 or above, to be honest. I think that you're allowed in with a H3, but I think you'd want to be quite good at the maths to go for it because it is a challenging course, but challenging in a good way. If you love your maths, you'll love this course. It is problem solving every day and um enjoyable if you do enjoy maths. There's economics and accounting, which is really enjoyable. We get to work with the School of Business, and it's a nice break from the maths, and you're learning real life maths and real life scenarios. And then there's also computer programming. So we use two languages mainly in college, R and Python. So you will use these as you progress through the ranks in the actuarial world. And alternatively, you might use Excel, but Excel is another thing we study in college. So pretty much you'll be well equipped to code for an insurance company. Um, Again, I'm studying the actuarial maths, so possibly I will be a little bit biased, but there is financial maths and there's opportunities in investments, trading, banking. Some of my friends are big into the trading and investments, and there's different sets of exams you can continue after college and complete. So yeah, the difference, let's see. So yeah, actuary maths, like I said, it's about long-term risk. So I'm saying you're projecting 60 years roughly into the future, and um, financial maths, it's more about like making profit on short-term investments and yeah, exploiting our opportunities. So yeah, like I said, the very end of this slide, it's the same maths and modeling skills. You still need to be able to calculate and code. So yeah, it's enjoyable if you love your maths. Okay, so course is for you if you're exceptionally good at maths. If you're naturally really good at algebra, and then I suppose we also have a big focus on, I suppose, probability, statistics, integration, differentiation. These guys have to be our bread and butter, um, because it becomes a lot of letters. There's a lot of theory, so it's like if you're good at algebra, it'll be good. There's a lot of theorems and proofs, and then there's also a lot of maths using numbers. So also plugging numbers into formulas to project cash flows and sum up over a long period of time. Okay, so I'm saying if you want to continue your study in maths, it's a good course to do. If you don't want to end your studies in maths, if you want to continue learning maths, there's so much more to learn. There's so much more than just the leaving cert maths. It's a lot deeper, and it's interesting if you love maths like I do. Um, yeah, it's a perfect course to get yourself straight onto the path for a future job. So actuary world is tough to get into, but it's very rewarding. It's a well-paid job, and you'll never really be stuck for work. They're very horrible people in general, and there's always a need for an actuary. Um, so actuary maths over a general maths course, in my opinion, is great because you have that banker of a good idea of a job to go into after college. So yeah, if you're exceptionally good at maths and you want a well paid career and a safe career, it's a good one, and it's enjoyable. And if you enjoy maths every day, it's not too bad. Okay, so in the first few years, you're studying the basics of the computer languages, so Python and R. You're studying the basics of macro and microeconomics, and so supply and demand, in economics, and then also you're learning how to write a new language. Basically, maths in college is like a new language. There's a lot of letters, there's a lot of notation. It's If you love algebra, it's like a really deep algebra level, and you'll pick it up no bother if you like your maths. It's really enjoyable. Um, yeah, I guess just on this slide there is a bit of calculus and linear algebra as well. So there's like talk about dimensional maths, similar to just a pure mathematics course. We do talk about the visualization of 3D and 4D maths, but there's a big focus on probability and statistics as well as analysis, which is a lot of the notation and variables. Okay, then, so this is what I'm talking about. Then in second year, you're just developing what you learn in first year. So it's probability, statistics, financial maths, so interest rates and stuff. Now you're talking into accounting and different sort of numerical methods is different ways of going about questions rather than ways that you might have taught before. and more calculus, now with several variables. And then it goes into years 3 and 4. So you get some choice and you get some modules you have to do. But this is where you start specializing into the hard stuff. And all of the years 3 and 4 stuff would be very useful for your job after college. Years 1 and 2 pretty much prepare you for years 3 and 4. So years 3 and 4 is useful after you have all the foundation of maths. Now you go on to tougher things, but you'll use them in your everyday world, in the working world, like the stochastic models, and then applying interest rates and different types of annuities, so different types of compound payments over years for different packages. And yeah, there's again a lot of proofs and theorems and everything that goes with it, but it's very enjoyable if you love your maths. I'm conscious of the time here, so I'm going to fly through the rest of it here. It's 57. Okay, different types of jobs. So as well as me being biased talking about becoming an actuary, there is also a lot of stuff that can come out of the financial maths course. As well as if you do actuary, you can still always change. As well as that, I don't see if there's lecturing as well. I suppose the post-grad research can link in with lecturing. There's huge market now in the tech world, so any sort of computer science job is useful. And then there's always trading, investments, and banking jobs. Why study it? Why study the CAFM, the Common Entry into Financial and Actuarial Maths? Well, if you don't want to become an actuary, it's a great way of still having a choice, because if you're not sure, you have 2 years to decide. You're still learning. We all learn the exact same things for the first 2 years, and then you get choice. Financial maths possibly might open the door better for different jobs in trading, investments, and stuff. Whereas actuary is probably more geared towards the exemptions after college, where you can get 6 out of the 13 here at DCU. Okay, like I said, you get 9 months supported by DCU, paid well, and placement. So it's great experience, and I actually stayed on there. It's a great way of finding a job for yourself after college. If you go well, you might talk to them at the end of your time, hoping to stay on with them. This is what I was talking about, the 13 exams. We can get 6 of these exemptions in DCU. So pretty much as it says on screen, if you get, it changes every year, but if you get above 60% in an individual exam, or if you get over 65 on average across all of them, you get all 6. So it's really helpful towards your fellowship in actuarial. I guess the main thing is actuary maths after year 2, you're pretty safe to stay in actuary maths, whereas in common entry, you have to kind of average above this good performance thing, so above 60%. But the good thing about the common entry is, so these are points here are a little bit lower, so in that way, in that regard, it's good. Okay. So just to summarize here, yeah, so if you're good at maths and you enjoy it and you're interested in a safe, well-paid job, um, it's a really good field to get into if you're good at maths. My final words are, these are the contact details of 2 of the doctors here in DCU. I'm conscious now it is 7 o'clock, so I'll just come back into the chat here. Okay, at this point, does anyone have any questions? I left it quite late. I know it is 7 o'clock now on the dot, but if anyone has any questions, just give me a shout. Thanks for listening. Thanks very much. I kept all 4 viewers, which is great. Apart from the maths, there is also plenty to get involved in DCU. So I'm on the soccer and the football and the hurling teams. I played chess with DCU. I played bridge, which is like a card game with DCU. I went on the surf and sail and the ski trip. There's a great opportunities there for living life and getting involved in other things. So yeah, look, if there's no questions, I'll just type in uh, any questions. No questions. Well, thanks for listening, and I wish you all the best. I would really recommend BCU and this course if you love your maths and you love the crack as well. It's great.